3 times 4 is 12. And then you divide it by 2. And you should come up with what? 6, yeah. Then you have to do this. 5 times 4 is 20, divided by 10 is 2. So you add those two together to get 8. The top one you have to do this and then this. Add them together. That's 30. Divided by 15 is 2. 24 divided by 8 is 3. That one should be 5. On the one below it, you do this first. 6 times 2 is 12. Divided by 4 is 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. We'll start with the first one. That's 3, 9, 27, plus 12 is 39. And this one is 2, 4, 8, minus 6 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Square that to get 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 12 is 8.
Oh, you put it there.
The top one is 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32 minus 15 is 17. This is 4 times 2 is 8 minus 6 is 2, and this is 5 times 3 is 15 plus 5 is 20. On the top one, you should have 16 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. This gives you 8. Divide by 4, and that's 2. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. And then 20 divided by 10 is 2, times 6 is 12, divided by 4 is 3, times 2 is 6. Pick a number from 1 to 5 and drop it off. From yesterday, we're going to do subtraction and division. Here's example 1. The problem is 1735 minus 496. We have to subtract. What is the first thing I need to do? Show. And what happens to the 3? It becomes 2, and then we put the 1 on the 5 and make 15. So 15 minus 6. 15 minus 6 is going to be 9. And then we go over here and we have 2 minus 9. We can't do that. So we have to borrow from the 7 and make that a 6, and then turn that 2 into a 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. Now we have 6 minus 4. We can do that. And the 1 minus nothing is just 1. 1,239. On the practice problem, you must borrow 1 from the 4 and make it 3, and then create a 12 there instead of a 2. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now if you go over to here, you have 3 minus 5. You can't do that, so borrow 1 from here, make that a 2, and then create a 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. You can't do 2 minus 7, so borrow 1 from here, make that a 5, and make that a 12. 12 minus 7 is 5, and then 5 minus 4 is 1. You should have 30 plus 8 to come up with an answer of 38 on the bonus. You must do all multiplication before you do addition. On the practice, you're going to have to borrow here. We cannot borrow from this. There's nothing to borrow from. So we're going to have to go to here. Cancel that, and that's going to have to go to 0, and you put a 1 there. But now that's going to become 10. And you still need to borrow to make that 3 a 13. So when I borrow from here, it goes down to 9, and this becomes 1. So 13 minus 5 is 8. And now we have 9 minus 6. That's 3. But don't forget over here we have a 0. So we're going to have to borrow from this and make that 6. And this is a 1. So 10 minus 5 is 5, and then 6 minus 2 is going to be 4. 4,538. This one is 16 divided by 8, which is 2, and then 20 divided by 2 is 10, and then 2 plus 10 is 12. Example 3. We have 12 going into 1,325. So if I'm going to divide this, I must first put a decimal point down at the end, one straight above it, put a couple of zeros out there because we're going to round to the tenths place if necessary. Before you do any of this, you should know what the times table is for 12. So if we go straight across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you tell me what the first one is for the 12? Is what? What's the first number in the times table row for 12? 1 times 12 is what? 12. What's 2 times 12? 24. What's 3 times 12? 4 times 12? 48. What about 5? 60. 6. 72. 7. 84. 96. Yeah, well that's right. Not close, it's right on it. It is 108. And 10 you really don't need. I just put that down there out of habit. Okay, so we start here. Will 12 divide into 1 evenly? No. Will it go into 13? How many times will it go into 13? Once. So we put a 1 down. Write 12. Subtract to get a 1. And then we drop the 2. How many times will 12 go into 12? Once. So we have 12 subtract to get a 0, and drop that to get a 5. Will 12 go into 5? No. So you put a 0 and drop another 0. Will 12 go into 50?
Yeah.
How many times? 4 times. So we put a 4 here. 12 times 4 is what?
48.
48. Subtract and get 2. Drop another one, another 0. How many times will 12 go into 20? Twice, yeah. And since we're rounding to the tenths place, which is this, we only need to go to here. So we're going to round. To round to this place here, we have to look at this number beside it. Is this number 5 or higher? No. So what happens to this number? Stays the same.
How does 12 go into 20? 3 times, because 2 times equals 24.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck in that too.
Oh yeah, you're right. That should be 1. So I think somebody may have said 1 and I wrote 2. Yeah, that should be a 1 there, but still the result's the same. It would be 110.4. I don't know why I wrote 2, just a typo. You're going to round to the tenths place. On this problem, you should start with the times table for 11. So we'll go 1 through 9. What's 1 times 11? Next. Next. It's the same pattern all throughout. So with that, you look at 3 and you note that 11 cannot go into 3. 11 will go into 32 how many times? Twice. What's 2 times 11? 22. Subtract. 32 minus 22 is what? 10. What do I do next? Nope, you got to do something before that. Not bring down a 0. Yeah, the 4. Bring down the 4. How many times will 11 go into 104? 9 times. 11 times 9 is what? 99. What's 104 minus 99? 5. Oh, you can't round anything yet. Can't round anything yet. We're just doing division and subtraction. So now drop the 6 to get 56. And how many times will 11 go into 56? 5 times. We have 1 left over, so now we can drop a 0. Will 11 go into 10? It will not, so we put a 0. Will it go into 100? How many times? So we're going to this place here. This is where we are rounding. So we look at this. Is this 5 or higher? So what does this become? 1. 295.1. You have to first look to see if 15 will go into 4. It does not. So go over to the second number. Will 15 go into 47?
Yep.
3 times, which is 45. Subtract and get a 2. Drop the 3. Now 15 will go into 23 once. When you subtract, you get 8. Drop a 2. 15 will go into 82 5 times. Subtract and come back with 7. Drop a 0. And 15 goes into 70 4 times. That would be 60, so I have to write it over here. Subtract to get 10, and you're dropping that 0. 15 into 100 6 times. We are rounding to this place. So we look at this number, it's higher than 5, so this one becomes 5. Your answer should be 315.5. Alright, what we need to take a look at next is something like 23 times 8. If I'm going to do 23 times 8, what's my first move?
8 times 3.
8 times 3 is what?
24.
24. And what do I do next? Now what? 18, so the answer should be 184. What if I had 37 times 9? What do I do first?
9 times 7.
And what's that?
63.
Put a 3 down, now what?
56 plus 3.
And then what?
9 times 3.
What's that?
53, 33.
What's 9 times 3? 27, and then what? Plus 6 would be what? So the answer is 333. So if we can do that, then we should be able to do something like this. And when we look at this, if you don't know, if you can't make the times table for 16, then you should be able to look at 9 and know that 16 won't go into 9, but then 16 will go into 91 a certain number of times without going over. So instead of making the entire times table, maybe you can guess what it should be. So try 16 times 3. What would 16 times 3 be? 48. Now, is 48 going to be high enough? Can I still get another 16 out of there? So we could try 16 times 4 and get what? What's 6 times 4? 64 is the answer to the whole problem. Can I get another 16 out of this? What about 16 times 5? What's 16 times 5? 80. Can I get another 16 in there before I go over 91? No, I can't. So it goes in 5 times, and you have to put down 80 instead of 16. And if I subtract, what's 91 minus 80? 11. And I drop the 7. So I have 117. I already know that 16 times 5 is 80. Can I get another 16 out of the, in addition to the 80 without going over 117? 16 times 6 would be what?
I know the answer for 96.
96 is right. Can
7 times.
I get another 16 in addition to 96? What's 16 times 7?
112.
112 is right. So it looks like it's going to go in 7 times for 112, and when I subtract, I get 5, and I drop the 2 to get 52. How many times will 16 go into 52 without going over? Not one. 3 times. So 52 minus 48 is 4, and I would drop a 0. How many times will 16 go into 40? Not 3 times. It'll go in twice. For how much? What's 16 times 2? 32. So when I do that, I have an 8 left over and drop a 0. How many times will 16 go into 80? 5 times. So we're rounding to this place, 573.3. On this one, 13 will not go into 4, but it will go into 43. And it goes in 3 times for 39. Subtract and get a 4 and drop the 2. You have 42. So now it'll go in 3 times into 42, so that's 39. Subtract and get 3. Drop the 1, it's 31. It'll go in twice for 26. So you have 5. Drop a 0. It'll go in 3 times for 39. And you have 11 left over. Drop a 0. 13 into 110. So 13 will go into 39 3 times, into 78 6 times, 91 7, 104 8. And that's as far as we need to go. We're rounding to this place, so it should be 332.4. Okay, on this one, can you recognize that 18 is higher than 7? So if 18 is higher than 7, it cannot go into it without going over. So then you have to move over to the 6 and make this 76 that you're looking at. Will 18 go into 76 a certain number of times without going over 76? Can I multiply 18 by something and not go over 76? I can get close to it. Okay, to figure out what that is, you can either do one of two things. You can make a times table for 18, or you can take a guess at it and see how close you can get without going over 76. All right, we'll try 4. 18 times 4. What's 4 times 8? 32, and you will carry a 3 up there. So 4 times 1, 4 times 1 is what? 4, plus 3 is what? 7. So 72, can I fit in another 18 between 72 and 76? No. So you're going to go in 4 times, and that is 18 times 4, which is 72. What is 76 minus 72? 4. What do I do next?
Bring down 3.
Bring down the 3. Can I multiply 18 by something without going over 43? what would that number be? We can try 2. 18 times 2. What's 2 times 8? 16. I carry a 1. What's 2 times 1 plus 1? So it's 36. Can I get another 18 between 36 and 43? No. Huh?
Basically keeps getting them right.
Well, you're just taking a guess at it, and if you can get an 18 between 36 and 43, then you'd have to try again. But if not, then you've got the right one. 18 times 2 is 36. 43 minus 36 is 7. Now what do I do?
Minus the 4 and the 3.
No, we've already done 43 minus 36 to get 7. We already have the result of the subtraction, so once I subtract, what do I do next? Bring the 5 down. How many times can I get an 18 to go into 75 without going over?
4 times.
4 times. Yeah, that's right. We've already done this. So 4 times 72 be 3, and then drop a 0. How many times will 18 go into 30 without going over? Once. So I'm out of room. I need to write it here. What's 30 minus 18? It's not 22. It's not 20. It's not 21.
18.
Nope. What you have to do this. Borrow from the 3 to make it a 2, and this becomes a 10. What's 10 minus 8? 2. And then you have 2 minus 1. So it would be 12. Drop a 0. We have to figure out how many times 18 will go into 120 without going over. Do you want to take a guess on how many times that would be?
8 times.
We can try 8. We can try 8, and 18 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So it comes out to be 144. So now what do you think it is? We can try 18 times 6. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. That would give us 108. So that would be it. We're rounding to the 10th place, so this one is 5 or higher, so the 1 beside it gets bumped up to 2.